Last one we've got here. We will give the Big 12 a little bit of love, specifically Texas Tech. Cole, can anybody beat them in the Big 12? Are they running the table? It does get tougher at times. I think they have Kansas this week. They play some other highly ranked teams too, but they look like a different kind of animal, and all our questions about the spending that they did in the offseason seem to be answered through 5 games. A long way to go, but a good start for sure.
Let me ask you guys, do you know what the closest margin of victory has been for Texas Tech so far this season?
Is it 20?
24 points.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They have won every game by 3+ touchdowns up to this point. And I'm going to make this clear. It's not because of they're the best team in the Big 12. It's because they're a great bleeping football team. They are excellent on so many different facets. Defensively, they're there. They're a top 5 scoring defense in college football. And we overlook it because of the offenses hanging 52 every single week. I mean, that's what we got to say when it comes to the success rate of Texas Tech and what Joey McGuire is doing. They have the talent. They have the roster. I, again, think everybody is going to drop a football game. I just do not see a scenario where everyone goes undefeated this season. So who is it that maybe is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with them? You look at their schedule, I'm not sure where the next one comes on up. I thought Houston had a good chance, and, Kyle Raymond getting hurt definitely didn't help out. But you got Kansas this week. Is that where it happens? At Arizona State maybe is where it happens. Versus BYU could be a preview of what we see in Arlington. Who are the teams that you think could maybe go toe-to-toe with them? I think BYU has a case. I think Arizona State, depending on what we see from their offense and if they can be more cohesive, still has a case. I'm not selling my entire stock on Iowa State. Iowa State's beaten and bruised, and they lost 2 of their starting cornerbacks, but the way they've been able to win football games is very promising. I think we got to start giving a little bit more credit to Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati was able to kind of outlast Iowa State, but they jumped out to a substantial lead. What was it, like 38 to 20 at one point? They finished with 478 yards. Brendan Sorsby looks the part. Pryor looks the part. They got weapons defensively. They've made some strides. They're explosive. I mean, if their schedule says anything, and their schedules can say a lot, which also, shame on the AP poll voters for having Iowa State ahead of them when, again, these head-to-heads don't matter. UCF, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Utah, Arizona, BYU, TCU to close out the year. They're going to have some tests, but it does feel like right now, if you're able to take advantages against Iowa State, a very mentally prepared team that Matt Campbell has on display, you have an opportunity to get to Arlington and be this year's breakout team, be this year's Arizona State. But I also don't think that matters because right now it is basically Texas Tech or bust. And Texas Tech, pay attention to them. They're not a good Big 12 team. They are a great college football team. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. No addendums about it.
I'll get right back to the video, but first, let me tell you about Sleeper's brand new promotion. We've been telling you guys about them for over a month now, but if you've been waiting to deposit because you're cheap like me or just don't want to put money in, you don't have to wait anymore. Sleeper will offer you a free $20 right now with no deposit required. Use our code CFA for a free $20 entry. First-time users still get that 100% deposit match up to $100. But if you've been waiting to deposit, you can go play right away. We'll talk about Sleeper more on our Wednesday live on the Power 2 when we play the more or less game before this weekend's action. Make sure to check out Sleeper's terms of use because terms and conditions do apply, but appreciate Sleeper for their support. Run and get your free $20 right now by using our code CFA.
I like that they maintained what Texas Tech's identity has been offensively. They still want to throw it all over the yard. But what really impressed me against Houston, and I know, Coley, I think you thought a little bit more of their defense than I did going into this game, and I think Texas Tech just had their way with them. But ultimately, 48 rushing attempts, 40 passing attempts, 207 yards on the ground, 4.3 yards per carry. You get Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, both roughly 20 carries, and both guys finish around 100 yards rushing in this game. That is something Texas Tech of old would never do. And credit to Baron Morton. After the Utah game, dealt with an injury. Everybody was singing the praises of Will Hammond. Will Hammond came in sparingly in this game, but Baron Morton picked up right where he left off and answered a lot of questions. So there's a lot of toughness with this team. But for me, looking at the schedule, I'm not going to completely look past a game in Manhattan, Kansas. At Kansas State, you just never know with K-State. When at home, they can play you tough. BYU, Arizona State on the road, still on your schedule. So I don't think they're completely out of the woods yet. They're going to deal with some challenges, but I would be stunned at this point if Texas Tech isn't representing the Big 12 in the college football playoff.
Texas Tech has everything working for them. And again, I'm going to constantly ask you guys to do this for me. Pay attention to their offense. Watch that defense play. Because in my opinion, the difference between what makes them the favorite and everything else is that their defense is so much further ahead than everyone else in the Big 12. They can win football games because their offense has a bad day and their defense delivers. It's scary good. It's extremely scary to envision this type of team.
Yeah, you never know, right? We've seen the highs and lows of the portal, right? When you think, I mean, and maybe I've seen it better than anybody, going 13-0 and then 2-10. So you never truly know how it's going to work out. Man, if they didn't pull all the right strings this offseason, and they played that violin to an absolute, maybe we'll call it a fiddle and say the devil went down to Texas and sheesh, they played it well this.
No, the devil got bought out by Cody Campbell.
Yeah. And by the way, you never know how that's going to mesh still. Like you could buy all the right pieces and
it still sucks.
Give McGuire a lot of credit because I think there were people that were saying if this doesn't work out to some grand capacity, not saying a national championship, but like if they didn't have true success this year, I don't think there was a ton of faith in Lubbock that McGuire was the guy, but he's proving it. The points you guys just said, you can buy all these pieces, but can you integrate them? Can you put the puzzle together? So credit to McGuire and his staff.
It says a lot about him, and I can just tell you from knowing him for the last several years, he is the type of person that you want your kid to play for, and you know that they're going to be better because of it. He's going to have opportunities to, I think, get job offers at major schools this year.
Yeah.
Bottom line, what I currently have out in Lubbock, Texas, you're not going to find many people that will match that, like at all. So you got it made right now. Like Texas Tech is on the come up because they have the right people backing them. But they also got a really good coach that is able to sell the program and truly bring a new culture out into a place that's very hard to recruit at and very hard to sustain a lot of success. They got him. And I don't think, to be completely transparent, Joey McGuire, I think multiple teams, Florida could offer you a job. I think you stay in Lubbock. You have too much going for you right now.
Speaking of the volatility of the portal, I looked it up just for my own amusement and maybe depression. 2023, Florida State had the number 6 portal class. 2024, Florida State had the number 7 portal class. A&M finished, A&M. Texas Tech finished with a top 3 portal class based on the site you're looking at. 1 in some places, 2 in others. Just having a good portal class doesn't guarantee that you're going to do anything. But again, when you hit, it certainly looks good. When you miss, it can be pretty detrimental. This weekend, for some good news, just in general, as good as this weekend slate was, and we had some fun stuff, this weekend coming up is just absolutely ridiculous. Ohio State at Illinois, Alabama at Missouri, Indiana and Oregon is a top 10 matchup. Red River is always fun. UF and Texas A&M. UGA has to go to Auburn, Michigan, USC, LSU, South Carolina, BYU, Arizona. And I stopped listing them after that because I knew that we could only get to 5 or 6 when we do our preview. Maybe I don't have any idea if we have the time or capacity to do it, but we could almost have 2 preview shows and do 6 each. There is so much good football. We'll figure out what we're doing by the time we get to Wednesday, but make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss when we preview this weekend's games. And I know it's only Monday morning, but I'm excited for the weekend to get here again so that we can talk about all of it. Cole Thompson, Tom Hannafin, TJ Pittenger, we appreciate you guys a ton for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys soon.